What does he want?
Do you hear that?
I'll actually read it up in there.
I've always been fascinated by death.
In this uniquely unsettling encounter, the YouTube travel duo from Adventure Out There, Emily, Brian, and their adventure dog Wes, set off on a 3-day van life road trip through British Columbia, Canada, with a twist. Every stop, route, and activity would be planned entirely by ChatGPT. What began as a light-hearted experiment in AI-assisted travel quickly turned into something unexpectedly tense. The couple, seasoned van lifers since 2024, turned over control of their itinerary to the AI, asking it for scenic drives, free campsites, pet-friendly hikes, and of course a place to find Canada's best poutine.
Hey everyone, we've been in Canada exploring beautiful British Columbia now for a couple of days on our way up to the Stewart-Cassiar Highway to start our journey up to Alaska. Between where we are right now and the start of the Cassiar, we have several hundred miles and we really don't know much about the area. It's so big and so vast and there's just a ton of different options. So we decided it might be fun to ask AI or ChatGPT where to go.
What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? So we're gonna give it a prompt and we're gonna tell it that we've got, a couple of days and we want some free camping along the way. We want dog-friendly hikes and maybe also some poutine.
Yeah, maybe the best poutine in the area.
And let's see where it takes us.
We might not follow it to a T, but let's see what happens.
So first night, it's telling us to head to Bowron Lake Provincial Park, which is about 2 hours from here. Looks like a pretty area. You want to check it out?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
The first recommended stop, Bowron Lake Provincial Park, but things didn't go as planned. Upon arrival, the park appeared closed, with signs showing it was out of season and undergoing road maintenance. There was no one else around. No rangers, no other campers, and while the scenery was beautiful, the emptiness of the site made it feel more abandoned than serene. This became the first red flag in their AI-guided journey. The campground wasn't free as requested and wasn't even open for the season, a critical oversight. Undeterred, they sought an alternative using a trusted camping app, Campendium, and found a secluded BC recreation site by a creek. It was peaceful, picturesque, and quiet. At first, they noted signs of local wildlife, including fresh beaver markings on nearby trees. With hopes of capturing the beavers in action, they set up a trail cam and settled in for a night of cooking and relaxation.
We found home for the night. ChatGPT did not. This is pretty awesome.
Unfortunately, that other site didn't pan out that ChatGPT recommended. Not only was it not free, it was 18 Canadian dollars per night. It was also not open yet for the season, and it was over an hour out of the way, so definitely not along the route. So when that didn't pan out, I did some research on one of my favorite apps to use for finding free campsites in Canada. That is Campendium, and came across this recreation site, which is amazing. We're excited to stay here for the evening. You may be wondering why we didn't do this research ourselves to begin with, but it's kind of just like an experiment to see where ChatGPT is going to lead us. And I think that's half of the fun. Hopefully tomorrow we have a little bit better luck.
What truly made this trip memorable and unsettling occurred the following morning. At around 5 a.m., someone knocked on their van door. This wasn't a ranger or another camper. It was a man, disoriented and without a phone, asking for the time. They hadn't seen his tent the night before, and now it was suddenly pitched nearby, raising serious concerns. While Brian tried to stay calm and rationalize that the man might have been dropped off after a long night out, Emily was clearly shaken. They decided not to engage beyond the brief interaction, locking themselves in the van and keeping an eye on their surroundings until deciding to leave.
Got our first knock.
First knock.
5 o'clock. Why? What did he want?
You wanted to know what time it was?
Why?
Hey, I don't know if that's really what he wanted, but that's all he's gonna get.
What does he want? It's only 5:30 in the morning.
I don't think he really knows what's going on. He looks a little lost. There's a tent over here now that wasn't here when we went to bed. He just looks really confused.
The trail cam did indeed capture the man emerging from his tent and walking to their van, seemingly confirming he was just confused and lost. Still, the fear and unease lingered. This wasn't the kind of encounter the couple had envisioned when they handed their itinerary over to an AI. Despite that tension, they continued onward to the next AI-recommended destination, Burns Lake, but again found themselves relying on human intuition and real-time research to find a usable campsite. While ChatGPT offered general direction, it lacked nuance, local insight, and current information. Another poutine stop it suggested turned out to be a long-defunct listing found only in old Yellow Pages records. They eventually found better options on their own.
All right, well,
Everything worked out.
let's try and find this restaurant that has been recommended by ChatGPT on our little ChatGPT field trip that we're on. I tried to look it up. It's called Majestic Restaurant Ltd. here in Houston on Highway 16. And I couldn't find anything about it except for a very old Yellow Page listing. So I'm skeptical that this restaurant is still
A restaurant?
a restaurant. But let's go find out.
All right.
Let's see.
So, if there was a Majestic Restaurant, there is a hotel over here. Maybe it was part of that hotel at one point. It looks very unused, and I don't think that is going to be the best poutine on our route by any means, even if it was there. It's in a hotel.
Agree.
So I think we need to do ourselves a favor and manually type in to Google.
In the end, the experiment in AI-powered travel served less as a breakthrough and more as a cautionary tale. Yes, it led them to some scenic areas and unexpected wildlife sightings, 6 moose and a black bear, but it also highlighted how much technology still lacks when it comes to safety, accuracy, and human intuition. What did you make of this encounter? Let me know. Ever feel like you're drowning in coupon codes that never work? Or wondering if you're even getting the best price? That's why I use Couper, the AI-powered shopping assistant that handles it all for me. Coupons, cashbacks, and price checks automatically. At checkout, Couper tests and applies the best coupon codes across 3 million plus retailers with zero effort from you. Just click, save, done, and yes, it pays you back, literally. With cashback from over 76,000 stores, your cart turns into a wallet. You can redeem via PayPal, gift cards, or even direct bank payout. Compare even compares prices in real time, so you always get the best deal. No second guessing, no regrets. And if privacy matters to you, try Couper Pure, the world's first zero-tracking cashback plugin. No data, no ads, just pure savings. Join over 8 million smart shoppers. Click the link below to install Couper because smart shopper use Couper. Watch till the end because there's a hidden word somewhere in the video for you. Let's see if you can comment the hidden word correctly. On April 11th, 2023, Natasha, host of the Quest Out West YouTube channel, shared a deeply personal and anxiety-laced journey into the British Columbia wilderness, one that began with hopeful ambition and ended in fear, isolation, and a humbling reevaluation of solo van life. Living full-time in a Dodge Grand Caravan with her 3 cats, Natasha ventured out in search of a free camping spot outside of Squamish. The weather was finally warm enough to explore, and after stocking up on supplies, she followed a GPS route to a location she found on the app iOverlander. But what began as a routine drive quickly turned into something much more unnerving.
Now that the weather is finally warm enough to do this, and I'm in Squamish, I'm gonna go look for a spot where we can camp tonight. But first we get supplies. I'm starting to get a little nervous because We seem to be driving out a lot further than I anticipated. I'm following my GPS that's guiding me to a place that I saw on iOverlander. Feels like we're just driving forever into the abyss. And yep, I'm a little nervous. We just turned off the highway. This is where we are, and there are people here, so I know that I won't die. That's good.
As she continued farther and farther from the main road, Natasha grew increasingly uneasy. The terrain became rougher, the road narrower, and the environment more remote. A steep drop-off along a cliffside trail with no room to turn around triggered full-blown panic. Her van, ill-equipped for rugged terrain, began slipping backward on the incline. Terrified, she aborted the attempt and decided instead to return to Cat Lake, a more familiar and accessible location. Even after parking in what seemed like a safe area near a fork in the road, Natasha's anxiety didn't subside. The unsettling geography, the presence of abandoned vehicles which possibly included a crashed RV, and the ambiguity of whether she was in a valid camping spot kept her on edge.
I'm stunned and stressed out at the same time. Check this out. That is stunning. But at the same time, I'm concerned that in the middle of the night that we're going to accidentally roll down the hill or something. Or maybe even just get hit by somebody else coming down this road. And I'm scared to go further in because I don't know if this car can handle these roads. So this is where we are. We're gonna stay here and have dinner and then figure out the next step. I'm a little close to the road, but I was also afraid while I was parking that I was gonna like either drive off the cliff or get stuck in a pothole or something. All of these things would not be good. Is that a crashed plane? I don't think it's a plane, but it might be a crashed RV. Somebody that actually did go off this edge. So it's an authentic fear.
Her fears weren't unwarranted. She questioned whether an earlier vehicle she spotted had actually gone off the edge. When she began to set up her camp stove on top of her cat carriers, trying to make the best of things, a new layer of unease crept in. Strange, inhuman sounds echoed from the forest, high-pitched and unnatural, reminiscent of the Predator movie creature. Natasha stopped in her tracks. She didn't feel safe. Then came the sound of people approaching. Her fight-or-flight instincts kicked in. Thankfully, the people passed her by without incident, heading up the very deactivated road she had earlier been too frightened to take. But their presence only amplified her uncertainty.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Is that supposed to be a bird? Because it sounds like the Predator. I truly don't feel safe here. I'm slowly taking things out of the van because I'm trying to find something to prop up the camp stove with, because this is going to hang off the side if I put them here. And as I'm doing this, I realize how I'm becoming increasingly more vulnerable as I take stuff out of the van. It's not like I could just slam the door shut and take off, because I gotta put all this stuff back in the van. And then I'm hearing this weird ass sound from the woods. Okay, there are people coming. Either they're coming to keep me company or me. We're gonna find out. Stay tuned. So they didn't kill me, but they didn't stay. They all went up that road that I was afraid to go up. Good news is, I think I figured out the camp stove thing. I think we're gonna do this. I think this works.
Alone and increasingly vulnerable, Natasha prepared a modest dinner while battling the urge to pack everything up and flee. Her mind fixated on worst-case scenarios, rolling off a cliff, getting stuck in the mud, encountering wild animals, or suffering a mechanical failure in a place where cell service was unreliable and help distant. She even questioned the romanticism of wild camping. What had seemed like a dream of reconnecting with nature had, in reality, turned into a night filled with dread. As darkness fell, Natasha abandoned her plan to sleep in the remote spot. Every rustle in the woods sounded like a threat. She raced to clean up, shoving everything back into the van in haste. The final drive into the night proved no less harrowing. Unable to see clearly, and with a tailgating truck aggressively riding her bumper, she feared being run off the road.
I started driving. The sign in front of me told me that I can't turn left, so I turned right, and it's pitch black, no lights on the side of the road. I have trouble seeing at night. I really don't like driving at night, and then I start realizing there's nowhere to pull off and nowhere to turn around for like forever, and I'm possibly gonna end up in Whistler. Then on top of it, a truck starts driving behind me, really right up on my butt, like tailgating me, and with his high beams on or whatever, and he's doing it on purpose. And I'm going like 85 in a 90. It's not like I'm going too slow. I'm just going too slow for him. And I saw a turnoff for a lookout, but he was right on my ass. I couldn't even slow down, so he almost ran me off the road, and there was nothing else I could do.
Finally, she reached a familiar Walmart parking lot, her sanctuary for the night. She wouldn't say exactly what she did upon arrival, but the implication was clear. Safety, not adventure, was now the priority. Exhausted and emotionally drained, Natasha concluded the day unsure if she'd attempt another wilderness solo camp anytime soon. The road had offered her no peace, only reminders of the risks that come with trusting instinct over infrastructure and solitude over support. In a video uploaded by It's Bates, the YouTuber documents a late-night adventure with his friend Martin, exploring a location they hadn't visited in a long time. Filmed in early September, the footage quickly transitions from casual vlogging to an unsettling and unexplained experience. The footage begins with the two friends catching up behind the camera, joking and reminiscing about their previous visit to the area, site of one of their earlier cursed videos. Although it's mid-July and sweltering, the place feels just as creepy as they remembered. Almost immediately, things start to take a strange turn.
Alright, bro, what we doing today?
Bro, what's up, guys? Right now, me and Martin, of course,
Sir.
posted up behind the cameras. You know, we're just gonna vlog and like see what happens.
Dude, it's super creepy. We haven't been here in a long time,
Bro,
though.
no, I haven't been behind the camera like so long, guys.
Same, bro. Dude, this place is like as creepy as I remember it being.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna walk right now. You know, see
Yeah.
where the trail leads us.
Dude, your camera is like flashing red. Did you not charge it? Oh, it's mid-July, bro. It's
It is,
hot
yeah.
as hell out right now.
What is this? Do you guys hear that? What?
That was that noise I heard from like way back there. Wait, let's go
Came
close.
from there. Do you know hear that? That was like something like, you know, rustling in the freaking grasses.
Wait, where?
Right here. But it literally could be the deer, but like, you know, it's still creepy.
As they walk along the trail, the camera catches something that appears and vanishes within seconds. Though it isn't visible to the naked eye at the time, Bates later points out the anomaly during the video editing, replaying the moment at maximum volume and urging us to listen closely. A distorted voice or sound, almost electronic or whispered, seems to emerge just after a rustle in the grass. They hadn't noticed it live, adding a retrospective eeriness to the footage. As the night deepens, the scene shifts. It's well past midnight when the pair, now traveling by bike, start hearing disturbing inhuman noises.
It's like past midnight right now. You know, we're just here with the bikes. The bike.
Put it here. We have been hearing this like weird ass.
We just came from Sam's place.
Down there.
His place. And now, as we were going home, listen, guys. What is that? What do you think is that? Sounds like a...
Sounds like I thought that was a cat at first, though.
Yeah.
I'm like actually weirded out right now. Dude,
You hear
there's
that, guys, right?
There's someone there.
It's like luring us. Let's go a little bit further.
I swear there's like people here.
At first it resembles a cat, but quickly evolves into something louder and more unnatural. The sound appears to be coming from the tray line, but also moves, luring them deeper. There's genuine panic in their voices, with Bates even commenting that it feels like something is trying to bait them. The atmosphere turns more charged when they discover what looks like blood on the ground. At this point, the sense of danger escalates dramatically. Suddenly, a high-pitched scream is heard through the silence, echoing across the area. The sound shifts locations, growing louder and closer before pulling away again. The duo momentarily lose their composure. As they follow the noise, they remark on how it's leading them, becoming almost directional, as if something or someone is manipulating their movements.
Hey, come out!
What's an animal, bro?
Well, what animal is making that noise right now?
Bro.
Dude, don't tell me that's blood.
Oh, wait. It's red. What the f? This one also. Hello?
Wait, that's coming from like up there. Maybe we're overreacting. I still hear people, you know?
I feel like Face Road right now.
I know. Dude, you hear that? That's like someone actually screaming.
Where is it?
Just now it was coming from there.
We were like, come here, catch this guy. We were like way back, like.
Yeah, we were like
Behind the house.
200 meters maybe. It's like, what time it is? It's like almost 1 a.m. or something. Yeah.
12:39, which means it's 1 a.m. Bro, you're screaming.
What?
Bro, what? What?
Look, like triangle.
Oh yeah. Bro, it's louder.
That's
It's on the ground. No, it's literally going further. It's like telling us to go somewhere.
A particularly intense moment comes when they spot a flashing triangle of light on the ground, moving further away with each moment, as if calling them toward it. But something instinctual kicks in. They turn and run, overwhelmed by a mixture of adrenaline, fear, and confusion. The next day, Bates returns to the same location with Martin to investigate further in daylight. The area feels less threatening in the sun. They find discarded clothing and shoes strewn near the tree line, possibly dumped but too eerily placed to ignore. They also spot the same unusual structure or object from the night before, an inaccessible form in the dense growth surrounded by 8-foot-tall plants. Suddenly, the same sound from the previous night pierces the air again, even in daylight.
Alright, bro.
What's good, guys? We were here yesterday,
Dude, you hear that?
1 a.m., something like that.
Yeah. But guys, yeah, we're back here. As you can see, this place goes on for like very long. They're like houses back there.
Look what Martin spotted there then, guys. What the heck is that?
Like all sorts of like clothes. And look, there's like shoes here, clothes. It could be just like someone dropping off, you know, old clothes. And guys, look, this is the like thing we saw earlier, yesterday. Yeah, I don't know what the thing is.
Bro, you can't even get close to it. Look, there's no path, literally.
I don't know what is that.
Or maybe like.
It could be whatever though.
And it
Oh. Boy, that's the same
that's
noise.
the same sound.
Yesterday we heard it like, guys, look, there's like 3 meters tall. That's like 8 feet tall or something. Looks like a cornfield, bro.
I don't know, let me know then.
Whether supernatural or not, the combination of environmental tension, the uncertainty is what lingers, the sense that something out there was watching, maybe even waiting. Like always, I'll let you draw your own conclusions to this encounter as well. Uploaded on January 24, 2025 by the Fort Spooky YouTube channel, this fourth paranormal investigation takes place in a long-abandoned quarry in Derbyshire. What begins as a standard ghost hunt quickly spirals into a chilling and unpredictable series of events, rooted in recent disturbing reports of ritual activity and mysterious hooded figures. Susie and Sean, the investigators, note their unease immediately. Strange noises, voices in the distance, and the overwhelming sense that they are not alone. Susie is new to the location, but Sean has visited many times before. This familiarity only amplifies the fear, as she explains past experiences and the site's sinister reputation.
A quarry that sits abandoned, nestled in the middle of nowhere in Derbyshire, was once used for cutting, shaping and finishing ornamental stone. That's not why I'm visiting this place tonight though. A few weeks ago, 4 hooded figures were seen leaving this place as a paranormal team were just arriving. The paranormal team hung about a bit to make sure the hooded figures had left, then entered the quarry. They found signs that a ritual had taken place and soon come to realise that something may have been summoned. 20 minutes into their investigation, they needed to get out. Naturally, I want to go investigate.
As Susie and Sean step inside, they begin asking for signs of a presence. Almost right away, faint sounds, knocks, footsteps, distant voices begin echoing through the stone walls. Some noises are subtle, others are thunderous. At one point, a loud bang occurs near them after Susie asks for a sign, prompting them to check the area for thrown objects. Though they find nothing obvious, the sound is too strong to be accidental. The tension increases when they request a whistle or another loud noise to confirm an entity's presence. Soon after, glass-like clinks are heard, followed by whispers and unexplained movement. Both investigators describe a heavy, anxious atmosphere, and Susie repeatedly states she feels surrounded, watched, or assessed.
Okay, so me and Sean are paranormal investigators and we're trying to prove that there's life after death. And we really want you to help us with that tonight. If you've done anything, thank you, but we do need confirmation that it's you. So if you could, bless you, if you could throw something again, really hard, it would help us know that you're here. Did it?
Yeah, it's like a little light flash out, really small.
What was that?
I don't know, it's like some metal tinking.
Yeah, or glass,
not,
like
yeah.
like a bit of glass being thrown, or tile, or. Can you be a bit louder?
The tone turns darker as they discover a candle, appearing recently used. They speculate on whether it was connected to those figures and ponder if they've unintentionally stumbled into something deeper and potentially dangerous. At one point, they see a black figure crouching or crawling, and later a shape darts across the upper floor of another building. Their cameras catch movement they can't explain, and they hear what sounds like people talking, specifically female voices, even though they are alone in an isolated location. The duo moves to a second building in the quarry, hoping to shift the energy. Though the atmosphere there is calmer, they still see movement and hear unsettling sounds, including someone or something running.
Just do something nice and loud to let us know that you're here.
It's been evil, it's been violent. It's
not
nice feeling here at all.
No. It's just some empty buildings. Like, why is it so nasty?
We're going to time capsules that could have things connected to them all the time.
Yeah.
And yet I don't ever feel I've just literally seen something up there, I swear something just ran across up there.
Hello?
I'm seeing more in here than I did in that other building.
Yeah, you've seen, well, something's crouched down there, haven't you? And now something ran across up there.
Yeah, and it was actually a proper, but it weren't an animal or anything, it was a proper person, because it looked like it was going like that.
Like creeping across?
Yeah.
Well, it's not living, because that's not safe.
No. Go back in that other building.
Despite these disturbances, they remark on how the feeling is less oppressive than the main structure, yet the peace doesn't last long. They decide to return to the first building to see if the activity intensifies again. As soon as they re-enter, their dread returns. This time, they notice something they hadn't before: a rope hanging ominously from a beam. In that moment, the gravity of their situation hits. This could be more than just a haunting. Sean's voice sharpens, and Susie immediately urges that they leave, interpreting the rope as a sinister symbol, possibly left behind by the hooded figures. Later, upon reviewing footage, Susie confirms the rope had been there from the beginning, but was overlooked. Even so, the psychological impact of realizing what it could symbolize is undeniable. The mention of sacrifice, originally tossed around half-jokingly, suddenly doesn't feel so far-fetched.
With it not being constant, we decide though to brave it and go back into the other building that we started off in. We didn't last long. Oh, what?
Suze.
Hang on. What is that?
I can't say it because we're on the line.
That's rope.
Yeah?
That's rope.
Put two and two together.
We need to go. No. Was that there when we came in?
I'm just going to put it on the line, guys. That's definitely what I think it is.
No. I don't even remember seeing that. Just to let you guys know, that rope was there when we first came in. We just didn't spot it when we first came in, but I did go back onto my footage and saw that it was already there. But I will be returning because I did enjoy this investigation, and I'm going to go on a less windier night.
The investigation ends with the team shaken but determined. Susie states she plans to return, but only under calmer weather conditions. Throughout the video, they capture a range of phenomena: responsive knocks, whispered voices, thrown objects, dark shapes, and the eerie suggestion of ritualistic intent. It's not just the spirits that haunt this place, it's the feeling that something darker has been awakened and may still be watching. Alone in the dense and legendary Skinwalker Forest, Dan, host of the Cursed Urban YouTube channel, embarks on an investigation following recent reports of a dogman sighting. What starts as a hopeful solo search for cryptid evidence quickly descends into one of the most terrifying nights Dan has ever experienced. The investigation begins during daylight, with Dan recounting a local woman's recent encounter. She claimed to have seen a towering, jet-black creature with the upper body of a man and the head and legs of a dog, an encounter aligning closely with dogman lore. Dan explains that this area is known not only for Skinwalker legends but also for multiple cryptid sightings including hellhounds and Mothman.
Guys, we were back at one of our favorite places, and that is the Skinwalker Forest. Now you may say, Dan, weren't you just at the Skinwalker Forest a couple weeks ago? To that, I would say, you were correct. I was. I think it was even less than 2 weeks ago. But I have returned. Why have I returned? Because we have gotten a recent report of a cryptid sighting in this forest. Now, the name Skinwalker Forest implies that they're skinwalkers, but truth be told, there's multiple reported sightings of cryptids here quite often. This one being of the Dogman. It was a solo hiker hiking along not too far from where I am now when they had the feeling of being watched, looked around and spotted a 7 to 8 foot tall, half man, half dog, looking like all jet black creature. Now with a recent sighting like that, I had to come out and check it out for myself. Will we find anything? Hopefully.
He sets off into the woods to retrace the hiker's steps. The mood quickly shifts. As dusk falls, the forest grows increasingly quiet, eerily so. Dan comments on the sudden disappearance of bird calls and begins hearing unexplained sounds. A deep growl from behind a thicket, loud tree knocks, and what seems like whispers. Around the 15-minute mark, a guttural animal growl, far too loud and low to be a raccoon or coyote, echoes from the area he just passed. Illinois, where this was filmed, is not home to wolves or bears, making the noise even more mysterious and frightening. Dan cautiously follows the sound, determined to discover its source.
Hear that? Did you guys just hear that? Dude, that sounded like an animal growl for sure. What was that? Hello? It's quiet, but it's quiet, but it was loud enough. It sounded like where we just came from, like up and over. What was that? It was definitely some sort of growl, without a doubt. Like some sort of like animalistic noise.
As night fully envelops the forest, spirit talker activity intensifies. It references the 1900s Caroline and eventually warns it's watching you, just moments before Dan catches a large black shape darting between the trees. Although it's not caught clearly on camera, Dan insists it was too large, too quick, and too quiet to be anything mundane. When he enters a rarely explored section of the forest, Spirit Talker immediately responds with, "Bad entities here." The energy becomes oppressive. Dan repeatedly mentions feeling stalked and targeted, even remarking that walking toward the presence felt like wading through lead. His fear peaks when he sees a large shadow moving left to right ahead of him, and soon after, Spirit Talker utters, "It's me they see."
The trail is kind of starting to disappear now. Oh! What the was that? I just saw something move. Right to left. Just a big black shadow. Just. I'm intrigued. Just super fast. From that, right there, just out of the corner of my eye, I just saw a shadow move. I know it wasn't the flashlight because I wasn't even pointing my flashlight that way. Yeah, better antagonize it. That's the best. It's the best course of action. Hello? Dude, tonight just popped off. Man, dude, this went from like kind of like a mild investigation to like just crazy stuff, dude.
At one point, he hears a loud branch snap just off trail, followed by complete silence. No wind, no animals, just dead air, and a crushing sense of dread. As the investigation reaches its climax, Dan admits something he rarely says. He feels he's in real danger. Spirit Talker's warnings, the loud growls, phantom movement, and constant sense of being watched overwhelm him. He ultimately makes the call to end the session and leave the forest. His closing words are filled with unease, stating that something malevolent was out there with him, something that didn't want to be seen but made its presence aggressively known.
I've never had a shift in like energy like that before. Just like going from one section to another, it just completely different vibe. Just like everything was like, we heard some crazy stuff over there. You know, we heard the tree knocks. We heard just, you know, we heard like a branch break, but like then coming over here, like it was just the answers that we're getting on Spirit Talker, the just, I don't know. It was like the, oh man. Oh, I wish I could convey the feeling better than just me explaining it, but it was heavy. That's the word. The air, it was just heavy. And it started right away when it said bad entities here. And then I hear that growl, and then I hear the stick break, and
Back home, Dan confirms he's never felt anything quite like what he experienced in that specific section of the woods. Unlike past investigations, where fear sometimes gave way to rational doubt, this one felt different, viscerally real. The growl, the whispers, the shadow, and the ominous Spirit Talker messages weren't just spooky, they were dangerous. Dan ends the video grateful he trusted his instincts to leave. What did you think of this encounter? Let me know your thoughts. On June 10, 2025, the YouTube channel Exploring with Bear uploaded one of its most unsettling investigations to date, taking viewers deep into the heart of Helltown, Ohio, where urban legends, ghost stories, and rumors of satanic activity intertwine. What began as a routine truck camping exploration rapidly devolved into a chilling encounter with something or someone, possibly still active in one of the most infamous barns in paranormal folklore. The video opens with Bear and Jakey encountering a couple on the trail who had driven 3.5 hours to explore the same satanic barn. Visibly shaken, the couple warns the investigators that they turned around after hearing what sounded like coyotes being mauled alive, followed by unnerving sounds of a tree snapping and vanishing in front of them.
What is that? What is it? Is that a person? Hey, how's it going? Hey. So, was I blinding you?
We made it to the curve here, up at the end. And all you heard was a bunch of coyotes just getting tore up by something. Like,
Holy I just mentioned on camera, have you ever heard of the Wendigo?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be like one of the big things around
we've
here.
been seeing stuff all night. I have a tendency to bring stuff out. So
do you? And
yes,
we're
I
like
do.
going in right after you.
Yes, I do. So we were on the opposite end.
Sweet.
And we had a tree, a full tree, snapped right in front of us and then vanished.
Holy. Was you guys trying to make it back to the satanic barn there?
Yeah, we were actually.
Did you make it? Oh, you didn't make it though, huh?
I think that's where the coyotes are at.
And they were getting mauled by something.
Yeah, something. They were in pain. They were.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Jakey, what do you think, man? All right, you guys have a safe night, and thanks for that. That just made this so much more terrifying.
This encounter immediately sets the tone for the investigation. They are heading into something unknown, something powerful. Bear and Jakey continue to the barn despite the warnings. Along the way, they repeatedly spot flashes of light, movement on trails, and hear disturbing noises in the gravel suggesting someone or something may be following them. The barn itself is known in local legend for satanic rituals, animal and human sacrifices, and frequent paranormal activity. As they approach, the investigators find wet paint, fresh markings, and what appears to be blood on a towel still wet, suggesting someone had been there very recently.
What's that? That's still wet?
Yeah. That goes there. That's what they use.
Yeah, so they were using that. They're painting something. Maybe this over. Look, look at that. Wait. That is still, look at that. Oh my goodness, man. Somebody was just here. Those people didn't come back here.
Yeah.
They said they got turned scared. Look at that. Hello? Are they up there? Are you up there? You know what? Oh my goodness, man. I just thought of this. What if it was the people that was just taken or whatever? And that's what they heard. Because this paint, man, this has just been done.
At one point, Bear finds what he suspects could be an animal bone, and Spirit Talker, an app used to communicate with spirits, spits out chilling messages like dominance, frustration, and fatal. When Bear asks if anyone is still in the barn, the Spirit Talker curses at him, something he says has only ever happened to him in this exact location. One of the most disturbing moments occurs when they discover a towel with blood, which is confirmed to be fresh and wet. Combined with the smell and the ominous spirit responses, it becomes clear that they are possibly intruding on something still unfolding. The thought occurs to Bear, could the couple they met earlier have unknowingly interrupted an actual ritual? And if so, are the perpetrators still nearby?
It was all ripped up. Look at how the floor was burnt too. That's a big hole.
None of that fell.
Huh?
None of that just fell.
You wonder how. Oh, why am I? That's only got one thing on it. Oh my goodness. I can't be using this now. We're going to need that for the walk, man. Jakey, hold on, man.
What is that?
I don't know, but look, there's
That's
all over that. Is that blood on that towel, man? That's blood, man.
Whoa.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, that's still wet. Come on. You okay? You okay? Hey, take your time. Take your time. Keep that light out in front of us. Wait a minute. Man, there's somebody around here, dude.
As the investigation continues, the two hear footsteps in gravel, whistles, and strange sounds from the darkness, all while their lights and batteries begin to inexplicably fail. They capture what looks like a black shape moving and note that a bush in the path has mysteriously appeared out of nowhere, which they confirm by reviewing earlier footage. Perhaps most ominous is the appearance of a blood moon, which Bear catches on camera around 3:15 a.m., the witching hour. This coincides with the height of the activity and further suggests a strong supernatural presence. The Spirit Talker then delivers a final haunting word, fatal. Bear and Jakey retreat to their truck, visibly shaken. Despite being seasoned investigators, this night leaves them genuinely disturbed.
Just go, just go. Oh, look at that moon. It's like a blood moon. It's a blood moon too. Here, hold my flag. Here, turn it off actually. Let me see if I can get that for him. It's a blood moon right now. It's after 3 a.m. right now. 3:15. 3:15. So it was close to 3 when all that was happening, you know? That makes it a little more creepy, man. It was like the witching hour pretty much and all that.
If you're still watching, comment the hidden word Cooper.
It was like a, I don't know. I'm just going to call it you. We're just going to say, I got too much spinning in my head right now.
By the end of the video, it's clear that this was not just a typical ghost hunt, it was a direct encounter with the unknown, and possibly a glimpse into something far more sinister than folklore. Whether paranormal, cult-related, or a terrifying blend of both, what Bear and Jakey experienced that night in Helltown leaves open the unsettling question, who or what is still using that barn? With this final encounter comes the end of another episode. If you haven't already, let me remind you again to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment about what you liked and didn't like about this video. We always look to improve our video quality so you get the best videos possible. In about 3 seconds, there will be more disturbing videos on screen for you to watch, and with that, I'm out.